All right, we're back at it. Another night. Missed a couple with the travel. I was out in Orlando at the think tank event, and we won't talk about that. But yeah, going at it again Sunday night. It was an awesome, beautiful day here in Buffalo, New York, but beautiful day out in the snow. Me, Larissa, Vivi spent some time up at Hollymont snowboarding. Vivi was crushing it. Spent the whole day riding with her. Not one single lap in the snowboard park. Only regret was not going through the park. But, Viv just had other agendas. She likes the bank slalom. She just likes going out there and riding. So as we build an audience, I'm just going to kind of ramble here a little bit. But, for those of you that don't know what this show is, it's just a little live show. I started doing it every night to kind of get real. No production studio, no editing, no team, just me in the basement, which this is the lounge in the basement with my kitty cat down here. And we got plenty of kitty cats, but I got Mr. Scouty joining us today, and I'm sure Vivi's going to come down and join us. She's eating some carrots. I had to bargain with her. Any of you parents have to bargain with your kids? So you got to finish your good food. I mean, not that carrots are bad food, but she ate all of her carrots and then wasn't going to finish her sandwich and her fruit. So we said, nope, got to finish your sandwich and fruit before you can get more carrots. So she did, and now she's got carrots. I do want to introduce you all to, this is the oldest guy in the family. He is a good boy, really, really, really good boy. So this is none other than the Scouty. What's up, buddy? Say hi to everybody. So this is Scout. He is purring up a storm right now. He's been in a really good mood ever since we got rid of our exchange student. Scout has been a totally different cat. When we had our exchange student, Scouty, I don't know, he wasn't around much. He kind of came out to eat and then hid. It's a shame that I wasn't able to figure out what the problem was, but it was the exchange student. And, if you know anything about cats, you'll know that they're kind of a spiritual being, and they can sense bad energy. And boy, oh boy, was Luna the bad energy. And she was our exchange student for a little while until, like the one before that, we decided we had enough, and she had to go somewhere else. So never again will we do an exchange student program. If any of you have ever done exchange student programs, I hope you had better luck than we did, because we went 2 for 2, total failure, epic failure. So what's up, Tess? How are you? Tess, hopefully you're feeling good, because I know a bunch of the people that were down at that think tank are really sick. I do this red light therapy. Not going to get into this. We're going to talk business and money, but we just got to build a little bit of an audience. And I don't know how many people are going to get, Sunday night and all. But I've been sick more than I'd ever been in the prior year, 2 years or so. And I just went on a journey to try to figure out, like, how do I get unsick? How do I stop getting sick? Every winter and probably summer, it just seemed like it never ended. I would get these sinus infections, which would turn into this just massive infection that always required antibiotics. My doctor never did anything. I went and got blood work. They never even called me back. And that's the medical system for you, right? Medical system is so freaking broken. So in this journey, I had discovered, a bunch of studies that were done on red light therapy, and how it really, there's lots of things, but the red light therapy, what you do is you treat the inside of the nose every morning and every night. Because if you think about where you're going to get sick, it's going to usually be through the nasal cavity, and those viruses get into your body that way. So the red light therapy, and I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, but all I'll tell you, I've been using it religiously. I literally sometimes fall asleep with it in my nose. That's not good. But sometimes you're just tired. And so far, so good. Knock on wood. But yeah, so a bunch of people sick from that event. And well, not this guy. And that's probably the first time that I have not gotten sick when I've been around people that were sick. So we might be onto something. The other thing I did is I disconnected from the regular medical system. Literally, like, pretty much fired my doctor, my general physician. They're useless. And I'm not saying they all are, but mine was useless. They wouldn't even see me when I was sick. I found a net. I don't know what you call him. He goes by many things, but they don't treat you with just giving you meds. They actually get down to the root cause, and then they treat it with supplements, with diet, with workout programs, which I already work out. They handle it the natural way, so naturopath or homeopath or Eastern Western medicine. They kind of study it all, and it's very expensive. So what I'm doing is, once my health insurance renews in New York, health insurance, I don't know if it's like this for everybody, but it's just an absolute nightmare here in New York. So when it renews, I'm going to go to a super high deductible plan. I already opened up a self-directed HSA, which I'm going to start funding to the max for me and Larissa. And then I'm just going to start going this route because couldn't get anywhere with the regular medical system. So I am unplugging and plugging into a different program. So I'm not sure if any of you have had any experiences with any of that, but if you have, please give me some insight. So let's just check in with everybody. We got Albert here. We got Tess. Me and Tess were just out in Orlando at that event. We got Bianca or Brianna. Oh, Brianna, what's up, man? How are you? I was looking at it. I don't know why I saw Bianca. I don't have my glasses on. But Brianna is with us. Looking forward to an amazing 2025. So are we. And then what we got over here on Instagram? Oh, we got quite a few people on Instagram. Let's see. American Medical is terrible. That is Lala LVLV. Buffalo Event coming in with us. What's up, Buffalo Event Party? Let's see. 100% of pets and owners have parasites. So somebody is saying that 100% of all pets and owners have parasites. We all have parasites. There we go. So the air has been bad. The sauna, yeah, that could be it. So I haven't gone the sauna path, but I've heard that is a really good one. But I just got to figure out where I put a freaking sauna. But yeah, we'll go there. All right. So here's what I was thinking. What's up, Dex? What's up, Luke? Here's what I was thinking we'd chat about tonight. So this happened 3 times actually recently. Scouty, what? My cat is just needing some serious attention. So recently I've had a lot of people asking, they want to start a business. They're plugged into the W-2 and they want to start a business, but they don't know the first steps. Now, this is kind of just basic stuff. So to me, I'm like, just go online, look it up. For some reason, people just need someone who has done it. They need the wisdom and someone to tell them. Now, that's step number 1. So we're going to talk about that. That's pretty basic stuff. I think a lot of people make huge mistakes getting into business. I think there's a ton of people that should never be entrepreneurs. Okay. And that's just my personal opinion, but I really think there's a ton of people who absolutely positively have no business being an entrepreneur, but yet they do it because they think they're going to make a bunch of money. They think it's going to be easy money. And we're going to hit that. But the second thing we're going to talk about, where to get money to start a business. Like, how do you find money to start a business? Here's another one of our little monsters. This one is called Henry. And, this is Harvey. I got 2 gray ones, but this is Harvey. He's become one of my best buds. Now, Harvey was thrown out in a dumpster. So him and his brothers were thrown in a dumpster. A few of them didn't make it. So he's a rescue. So was Scouty, another rescue. But Scouty Harvey, you were the dumpster kitty, right? Dumpster kitty. He's a really good boy. All of them are good. All right. So we're going to go into where to get money to start a business. And when you got a business going, where do you get money to keep that business going? And the last thing, I get a lot of people in just this week. I had somebody ask me, they're in business. They're young guys in a construction business, and they just needed some advice. Now, I don't give advice, like that. And it kind of ticked me off. And this person came from my wife. My wife loves to send people to me and say, hey, can you help them? Please call them. And I'm like, sweetie, I'm kind of freaking busy. Like, I can't. She's like, I need you to do this. And I'm like, damn. All right. So this is where these guys made the mistake. And I'll just give you a little advice. What's up, Jerry? If you're ever seeking somebody's advice, somebody's wisdom, somebody's, give consultation, if you will, never, ever, ever send them a message or say, can I pick your brain? I just want to be clear about that. Don't ever ask anybody that. Can I pick your brain? Fuck you. You cannot pick my brain. Like that. Doesn't that just sound wrong? To me, it sounds dirty. It sounds like you want to pick my brain. I've spent my whole life going through these trials and tribulations, learning the things I have, and you just want to pick my brain. Like I just got nothing better to do with my time. But anyway, I'm going to get off my little high horse there. So these guys, I said, I told them that. I said, you cannot pick my brain. I said, but if I can help you solve a problem, I certainly will help you solve it. Did you mind? I will help you solve a problem. So what I basically required from them is them to tell me specifically what their business is, send me their financials, to which they had none of this. So we're going to talk a little bit about that stuff. Dex is like, can I pet your cats? Jen D said, sure, they would love that. Scouty, Harvey, and there's a bunch more. So, but if you ever came over our house, you'd never know we had the amount of cats we do, because we have like 8, I think, little robots. You ever see those little things? Kitties do their thing, and then it just spins around, and you don't even know nothing. You just take the bag out. Let's get into business. Come on, let's get into business. Let's talk business 101. So here's the first thing. And I had a lot of good advice before I started my first company. And that advice was simple. Don't ever start a business in an industry that you don't understand. So if any of you are looking to get into business, never, ever start a business in an industry or in something that you don't know a lot about. Literally, like, you better know, you better like, and you better understand what it is you're about to get in, because you're about to embark on something that is going to completely engulf you, and your business is going to require that knowledge. Otherwise, you're going to be sniffed out and thrown out really fast. So a lot of people make the mistake because they get into business, in a business that they think is just going to make them a bunch of money. So they find this industry and they're like, oh, that business makes a lot of money. I'll give you an example, the life insurance industry, the industry that I'm in. And I get a lot of people saying, hey, you make a lot of money. I want to get into that business. Matter of fact, if you want to make a lot of money, don't get in this business, because you know the statistics in the financial advisory or the life insurance world. Do you want to know the statistics? Out of 100 people that enter this business, roughly around 4 make it. Out of 100, 4 make it. That's a pretty low success rate. So if you think you're going to make a bunch of money, you're probably got a better chance of actually losing a bunch of money getting in this industry if you're not serious about it, and if you're not willing to do this business for the right reason, which is to solve other people's problems. Now, rule number 2 with getting into business. So remember, don't do a business of something that you don't understand. Rule number 2, I always tell people, love the business you're going to get into so much that you literally would do it for free. Let me quantify that. So if you were going to get in the business of pet grooming, you must get in first. You must understand that business, understand what kind of pets, what kind of care, how to do it, what are the best practices. But let's just say it's pet care. And the second thing, chances are let me put it this way, only get in it if you would do that for free. If you would literally care for pets for completely free. And many people would say, okay, and why would I get into a business that I would do for free? Well, because usually when you do get into business, you are going to work for free. So you might as well just get it out of the way. If it's not something that you would do without a paycheck, if it's not something you would do as charity, if it's not something you would do and completely for free, don't get into that business. And I know a lot of people would be like, nope, I would not work for free. People that come from the W-2 world, the corporate world, they're used to getting a paycheck, 9 to 5 or whatever your hours are. They're used to getting a paycheck. So when they go into business, they think they're just going to get a paycheck. And guess what? You're not going to get a paycheck. Do you think I've taken a paycheck yet from Private Money Club? Zero. Why? Because I keep, reinvesting back into the company to build it bigger and bigger and bigger. But I love the company. I love what we do. I know a lot about what we do in Private Money Club, but I also understand one thing, and this would be the next thing. Understand the potential in the problem that your business solves. You see, with Private Money Club, I understand the problem we solve, and I understand how big that problem is. The bigger the problem, the more money you can make. Let me repeat that. The bigger the problem, the more money you have the potential to make. But it might take you 5 years before you're going to make any kind of money. You might literally live on next to nothing for those 5 years. You might need a side job. You might need a night hustle. I know a lot of entrepreneurs that when they started, guess what they did? They ran their business, and at night they waited tables. They ran their business. At night they were a bartender. They ran their business, and they had another job. Like most entrepreneurs have to do that. I know it sucks, but it is the fact of that's just what it is. But now we've kind of gotten out of those things. You'll work for free. You love what you do. You understand the problem and how big the problem is that you're going to solve with your business. And did I say you'd work for free? I did. Now let's get down to actually the next step. Now remember, you haven't started the company. You're just coming up with these ideas. So there's some more things you need to do. And I don't care what kind of order you're going to put these in, but these all need to be done before you decide to start the business. First and foremost, you better understand first off, get a name for your business. That's easy, right? But also don't get a name, get a logo. Logo, the simpler, the better. Try to keep it to 2 colors, no more than 3 colors. There's studies that have been done over and over and over again that every logo, think about it. Coca-Cola, Nike, go through every logo. Red Bull, how many colors are there? No more than 3. Never. So get a logo and get it done with 1 color and no more than 3, because you can vary it, right? So Red Bull, you've seen it in just 1 color, but then you've seen it in no more than 3 colors. So get a logo, get that company name, but also get some type of a tagline. And then also write an elevator speech. So the tagline is just kind of like, just do it, right? Nike, just do it. So what is the thing you want to say that is short and sweet that will kind of get people to say, what is that? Like my company, Private Money Club, that we call it PMC, but Private Money Club. And we got a bunch of different taglines that go along with that. But when you're thinking about what that is, just make sure that it piques someone's interest. Then go one step further, the elevator speech. Okay, the elevator speech is simple. If you're on an elevator with a complete stranger, and that stranger says, what do you do? Oh my God, this kid is driving me nuts. Then what would you say? Well, sir, you know what I do is I help people solve their money problems, and I help them take back control of their money by learning how to be the bank. Sorry, this is my floor. Thanks. If you want to learn more about what I do, go to chrisnoggle.com. Boom, out the door. Something that will just hook them. And it could be even shorter. Somebody at Think Tank, we had somebody ask a similar question. They were talking about a QR code, and they're like thinking of all this stuff. And there's this one guy saying, oh, you got to put all this stuff on this thing. I'm like, wrong. Actually, what you should do is just put a QR code and put less on there. Just something that piques their interest so much that they can't not scan it. You guys all remember 2 years ago, there was a crypto company that ran an ad at Super Bowl. You know how expensive those suckers are. And all it was is music and a QR code. Music, colors, and a QR code. Nobody even knew what it was. But you know how many people scanned that QR code for that crypto company? Look it up. It'd blow your mind. Curiosity is such a powerful thing. So what I told this person is I said, take the QR code, put it right in the middle, because he was talking about a sticker. I said, put the QR in the middle. And I said, just put how to control, or I think I actually just said control. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm forgetting what I said. Take back on the top, take back control with $2 signs and then 2 arrows pointing into the QR code. And it just said learn how. That's it. Short, sweet. Take back control. And then the $2 signs just insinuate that it was about money, and then learn how. I mean, you could even get simpler than that. So you got to keep things simple. Don't overcomplicate it. You know, when people start a business, they're like, oh, you know, when somebody asks them what they do and they go into this long thing, like, I'm asleep. I don't want to hear that. Like, in a couple seconds, tell me what it is you do. I'll give you another example. When I was away, we were at the bar, and all of you know what a stage 5 clinger is. Yeah, Steven and I had a bona fide certified stage 5 clinger. He's another life insurance agent, runs a company, but I don't want to give too much, info. Scouty, this is not. You get back down on the chair. All right, but anyway, like this guy we were talking to, and I just asked him. I said, "Hey, you part of this other conference?" Because there was another conference, Trends in Strategy. That was the name of that conference. And I said, "So what is Trends in Strategy?" And the guy told me what it was, which I figured out is it's a real estate company, and these people were mostly realtors. I said, "Okay, great." And he said, "So what do you guys do?" I said, "Yeah, we're the other conference right next to you, the think tank." He says, "So what is that?" So we teach people how to take back control of their money by being the bank. And then the stage 5 clinger was right there interrupting and then whipping out his business card, giving his business card, and going into this long thing. I just was like, okay, I literally got up off the chair and I removed myself because I don't have time for that, number one, and I just don't want to deal with that. And that's what all of you need to understand. Get your message so succinct and so clear that you don't need to think about it. You don't need to pause. You don't need to go into anything. When somebody says, "What is it you do?" I show people how to take back control of their money, or I show people how to take back control of their money by teaching them how to be the bank, or I bring people that have money together with people that need money. It's like a dating site for money. Like, you just come up with whatever it is. You see how all those things, but that's it. That's all you say. And then you shut your mouth, zip it. The first person to talk loses, zip it. And you know what 99.9% of the people will do is they'll say, "Tell me more." "Wow, that sounds interesting. Holy cow, I'll have to look that up." That's all you're trying to do. You're not trying to build a relationship in an elevator. You're not trying to get people pumped on what you do and tell them every working thing and pull out a piece of paper and start drawing things. Man, you're at a freaking bar. He's waiting to get a drink. Or you're in an elevator. They're going to eventually get off the elevator. I mean, unless you're like that movie Elf and you just pick everyone just so you got more time. And at that point, that person's never going to do business with you anymore because the stage 5 clinger thing just destroyed everything. Okay. All right. So let's keep going. I'm just going to come over here to Instagram. I just want to see if there's any comments that are coming in on Instagram. I just want to show the love to everybody that's joining us here. So let's see. Sauna for sure. Somebody said. Back to the health. All right. So looks like everybody's tracking. And if you guys have questions, just put them over in the chat and I'll kind of look through them. So Dex said working for free for at least the first 2 years at 100%. Brianna said, that's why I'm exactly where I should be, helping others with the Chris Noggle team. He brought the most fulfillment in my heart out of anything I've ever done. Wow, that is a very sweet thing to say. Thank you so very much. All right, so let's keep going, Steve. Yeah, we're going to move past the stage 5 clearers because I'll have nightmares tonight if I think about that. Hey, actually, can I just pause real quick? Can I ask a huge favor now that we got, like almost 40 people, actually almost 50 people? I need all of you to say a prayer tonight. My uncle, I don't know if the prayer is going to help the actual thing, but my uncle Jim has got a terminal cancer, and my mom went out and saw him today, and they just put him in hospice. He signed all the paperwork. He doesn't want to continue. The chemo's literally just ripping him apart. So I don't know how much longer Uncle Jim will be with us. It's going to really hurt my family. It's going to really rip my mom apart because that's one of her brothers. So I don't want you to say a prayer that my Uncle Jim gets better because we're past that. Uncle Jim's going on to be with his dad and his mom and, and be with God. And he's very excited about that. And, I can understand why, but I would like you to just say a prayer that my family copes with it, that my mom copes with it and understands that this is what's best. And I'd also like you to say a prayer for my Uncle Jim, just that he he gets to go home sooner than later because he's just not doing well, and that's where he wants to be. So that would be what I'd ask for, are those prayers. So, all right, let's keep going. All right, now you've gone through all these things. You're going to work for free. You already know this. You're fine with it. You love it. You know a ton about the business you're going to get into. You understand how many people's lives you're going to change and how big of a problem it is that your company and your message is going to solve. And you've got all these other things going on. So now we're getting down to the brass tacks. So before you go and open the entity, what's up, Vivers? Before you go and open the entity, there's still more work to do. What's up, Viv? She finally joined us. Say hi to everybody, Viv.
Hi.
We got like 50 people on here. I'll rub your back, okay? Okay. And we got Mr. Scouty and Mr. Harvey. What's up, Harv? And we'll probably have some more visitors throughout the night, but that's all we got now. Okay, so here's the next part. None of you that are thinking about this or that want to start a business, like I'm already making this business thing sound crappy, right? Like who the hell would want to do this? You'd be surprised how many people start companies, and you'd be surprised, that's not even a word, but you'd even be more surprised how many people's businesses don't make it past 2 years because they failed to do these things. All right, so let's talk about one of the most important things, but one of the crappiest parts. Now what you're going to do is you're going to spend the next 3 months writing a business plan. Why 3 months? Well, because you can't do it in a week, you can't do it in 2 weeks. Maybe you could do it in 30 days if you devoted to it. But chances are most people already have a job or are already busy doing something. So it's probably going to take you 3 months. Listen, if you're starting a company, just know this. Don't be in a rush. Like, don't have the FOMO. Don't like other people jumping into the stock market right now. That's FOMO, and they're going to lose their ass. And if you jump into your business because you're in a rush, you're going to lose your ass. So it's kind of like investing in the stock market. It's the same thing. You want to lose all your money in a lot of time, rush into starting a business. So let's say it takes you 3 months to write a proper business plan. And here's rule number 1. You are not allowed to use AI. This is not a paper for school or college. This is not, something you're just trying to finish. This is going to be the first day of the rest of your life. So you need to know every single thing about this business that you're going to enter. I mean, everything. And here's how you do it. There's market research. And this is very different than when I've written business plans for almost every company that I've had. I say almost because I didn't do it for every company. And the ones that failed were the ones I didn't write a business plan for. But my very first company, technically my third company, but it was all the same thing. Fat Clothing Company became Lurkin Threads, which became Batman Board Shops. And if you've watched my video, my 90-minute video, you have seen the business plan and you saw some of the things I had in there. Now, what is your business plan going to have?
Your own bank.
It's going to definitely have that, but not for everybody, Viv, because not everybody's going to be their own bank. What do you have to say about that? What do you think? What would you tell the audience when, I tell you that some of these people aren't going to be their own bank?
Make money.
And some of these people aren't going to make money. What would you say to that? They're not going to be their own bank, and they're not going to make enough money. They're going to make money, but they're not going to make enough money. What would be the next thing you would tell them, Viv?
$80.
What?
$80.
Start with $80?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them what you did with your $80 that you saved up?
I start with 90, 80, 70, 80, 90, 60.
So she's basically saying she started saving. And what did you buy with that, Viv? You saved enough and you had this thing you were saving up for. What was it that you really wanted?
The boat.
Yeah, what boat though?
The Paw Patrol boat.
Paw Patrol boat. She saved up $80 to buy the Paw Patrol boat. And Vivi, you knew a lot about that boat, didn't you? You'd watched the movie and you knew exactly what it did. You knew what it had. You knew a lot about that, didn't you?
And it comes with a chase car.
It came with a chase car too. That's a pretty cool chase car. But you knew it came with that because you'd already researched it, hadn't you? So what we're asking all these folks to do is if they wanted to start a business, we're going to ask them to do lots of research like what you did. You actually had to watch. How long was that movie you had to watch to learn about that boat that you bought? was like an hour and a half movie, right? And really some folks, all we're doing is asking them to watch a 90-minute video about an hour and a half at the same time to learn all about this stuff, be their own bank. But a lot of people won't even watch a 90-minute video to be their own bank, but that's probably not the people on here. All right. So she's going to keep chiming in, but it's always going to be the same thing. Be your own bank. Okay. So this business plan, it's going to fully outline your business. It's literally going to outline every aspect of what your business is. What problem does your business solve? But it's going to go one step further. It's going to have a complete marketing plan and marketing strategy for your company, your product, and your idea. A full marketing plan. Down to how much you're going to spend every day, every week, where you're going to do marketing, how you're going to market. Even if it's just you're just going to go around town and you're just going to start telling people that they should do what it is, or that you might get off my neck. That always hurts. But you're basically going to go through and you're going to find out how are you going to market to these people. So it's going to be a marketing plan. Okay, that's going to be in. Whoa. Okay, that's going to be in your business plan. Okay, what else you're going to have in your business plan is you're going to have financial projections. That's right. Very detailed financial projections. Okay, and those financial projections are going to be for 1 year, 3 year, 5 year. And you really don't need to go outside of 5 years, because if you make it past the 5th year, guess what? Your business is probably doing okay. Okay, most businesses will fail in the first 5 years. So that's what we're trying to make so it doesn't happen. So your projections, so some of you are going to ask, well, where would I find these numbers? Find another business. Know who your competition is. Matter of fact, in your business plan, write down in outline who are your top 100 competitors. If it's not 100 competitors, list as many as you can. But we're only going to focus on the top 5 competitors that you are going to deal with. And once you find your top 5 competitors, what you can do is then reverse engineer their numbers, because chances are some of them will have some numbers out there that you can research. And if you can't find that, there's all sorts of.
Buy a skateboard with your money.
Yep. So Vivi is saying, buy a skateboard with your money. Vivi, how much are we selling these skateboards for?
$80.
Well, that might be what it's going to cost shipped, but they're only $60. So if anyone wanted a limited edition Be Your Own Banker skateboard, what should they do, Vivi?
Be your own bank.
Be your own bank and save up $80, right? Yeah. Just like you saved up $80 for that boat, that Paw Patrol boat. If they want a skateboard for their wall or for their kid, they could save up $80, or they could just take the money from their banking policy, right? Okay, so now you've done that. I'm sorry, I'm just getting sidetracked here a little bit. What are you doing? Yes, you got the marketing plan, the financial projections. You've got all the specifics about the business. And listen, the more you put in your business plan, the better. Oh, the other thing too, who is your executive team? If it's just you, great. Put your resume in there. Okay. So what else are you going to use this business plan for? Well, this business plan is going to be essential. That was a good job. This business plan is going to be absolutely essential if you're going to raise money for your company. You will not get 1 red cent without a business plan. And if you do get money without a business plan, the person that gave it to you probably is just not smart, a family member, or they're going to lose their money. Yeah.
Can you buy my banana?
I can rub your back if I can have my hat back. Can I have my hat back?
Yeah.
I'll make a trade here. And this is another thing you might have to do for some of this stuff early on in your business is barter. You know, give me my hat, I'll rub your back. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the business plan. And the other thing too, folks, you can go online and you can get templates for business plans. Don't cut corners. Go and do more versus less. Your business plan is going to be your roadmap. It's going to be your GPS for where your company's going to go. And it's also, ow, Vivi, stop that. Crap, she just cut the hell out of my foot. Do not do that. It's going to be a roadmap, and it's literally going to tell you where you want to be, because in your business plan, I'll guarantee you when you run those financial projections, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, make sure they're realistic. Okay. Don't overshoot, but you're going to look at that 5-year numbers and you're going to say that would change my life. When I did those first Fat Man financials, my income and it was a W-2 income that I built into it, was $30,000 a year. Up to that point, I'd never made that much money in my life. And I'm just like, holy crap, I can make $30,000 a year. This is crazy. Now, bear in mind, that was in 1994. Is that your Paw Patrol socks?
Yeah.
All right. So now you've got the business plan done. So now you know what you're gonna do now? You are gonna go out and you're gonna open the company. Now you could do a sole proprietor, okay, which you can just do down at your county clerk. Why are you putting your foot in the county clerk? But I would recommend you probably go out and open up an LLC. Now, if there's no partners, the LLC is going to be treated. It's going to be just a sole-owned LLC, okay, or a single-owned, and it's literally going to be reported on your tax returns, right on your personal tax return, because it's just you. There's no partners. But maybe you're going to have some partners, like a lot of people. You're probably some of you would probably have partners, so you're just going to have partners. So that's a partnership LLC. And if you're going to take payroll, if you're going to take Biff, my God, stop! Give me my hat. See, every night, you know what the funny thing is? Most of you probably tune in because you want to see Vivi kick the crap out of me. Am I right or am I right? How many of you tune into this live just to see my daughter kick the living crap every night, choke me out, jump on my shoulders? How many of you do that? Where you going, Viv? Any of you? Well, I bet you, even if you don't admit it, a lot of you will. What's up, Jay? We got Jay Hobson coming in from California. What's up? All right. Yep. So Tessa's like, yep, just saying. Lisa's thinking that. She's like, I don't know if I should admit to that. Yeah, definitely come on, because I like to see Vivi kick the crap out of them. And hey, if I can get a cat or two jumping on his shoulders, wonderful. But hey, that's it. Listen, if you all read the description, this is the real stuff, right? And that's why we do the show. There is no candy coat in this one, no editing. Is what it is. You might even see my daughter one of these days, like rip a chunk of hair out, scratch my face. You never can tell. How much am I paying her? I gave her carrots tonight. So that was her pay tonight. Carrots. Oh, and most importantly, the sauce. She loves Italian dressing. So I gave her that. So now you're going to go open your entity. And where should you do that? I would absolutely highly recommend Corporate Capital. If any of you have not spoken to Brent Carlson and you need to open an entity, that's your guy. He does all of our entities, every one of them. He helps with our operating agreements. Sometimes I'll have my other attorney draft the operating agreement because things have gotten really complex for me. They'll draft it and then we'll send it over to Brent and he'll do it, but he'll draft the operating agreements in some cases. But you know what else he does? All the registration, all the filings. We hired him to do the minutes. Now, each one of these things will cost a little bit more money and you might not need them. You can probably do your own minutes. Like, I just have so many companies. Ain't nobody got time for that. Like, I just don't have time to do all my minutes. We record minutes and we do that with Zooms. And then we use AI to then scrape it. And then that gets our minutes on our executive calls. So technology can definitely help things. What you got there? Oh, you brought some things to show everybody? How cool. Well, Vivi's going to do show and tell here, but Corporate Capital is great. Jerry Lipson said,
do $80 for a hamster.
Are you trying to sell a hamster for $80?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Vivi is auctioning off her hamster. Are you selling this hamster?
No.
Oh, you're not selling this hamster. So she's just telling you can get yourself a hamster for $80. What else you got there?
A hamburger.
A hamburger?
A cat toy.
A cat toy? And
you can buy a hamburger toy if you got $80, just like my book.
That's an expensive cat toy for $80. Viv, I think they can probably find these cheaper because I'm guessing these were probably made in China. And well, up until the tariffs go in force, which I think they already have, you can get these for a lot less than $80. Now, once the tariffs go on, and if they keep playing these trade wars, but this very well might cost $80 from China, but then they wouldn't buy it from China. Where would they buy this from? Viv, where would they buy this hamburger from for the cats?
At the store.
At the store. Okay, awesome. All right, so you got your company set up. Now what are you going to do? Well, you're going to be your own bank. I love it. I should just go with that. So now you got your company started. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to fund your company with your own bank.
Are you gonna do the next one?
Tomorrow. So we're doing this one, and then we're going to wrap this one in a little bit because we just got to get through the business one, and then we're almost there, and then we're going to talk about how they can get money, which you just said it. What did you say?
More toys.
Okay, but hey, Viv, before you get more toys, can you put the old toys away so Daddy doesn't have to clean up your mess, and take your socks upstairs? Thank you. Grab your socks.
I'm gonna show you the hamster.
Okay, you guys are gonna see the hamster again. Sorry. What did he say? What does he do? Just scoot around on the floor and the cats chase him?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm on the floor and see.
Okay. So the hamster's just going to kind of roam around in the back. We'll see how many cats we can attract. It's kind of like fishing. Okay, take this upstairs and go get more toys to show. Okay. You sure you don't want to take your hamster and go give it to Mouse? All right. So, sorry, I'm trying not to get sidetracked and trying to keep this thing on track, but it's kind of tough. We're gonna have lots of show and tell tonight. But hey, you know what? Is what it is. If you don't like it, then you don't have to stay on. That's the beauty about doing these lives. Like, other people got time, and other people do want to see what Vivi's going to show next. Okay, so Vivi said, "Be your own bank," and I would agree. I remember, and I've told this story a lot of times, but I'll just tell it again. So when I first was starting money school, BYOB, it was a brand new company. And we were transitioning mostly from doing real estate into doing this brand new thing, this BYOB stuff. And I remember Shauna came in. Let me finish my talk real quick, and then you can show your toys. Okay, let me just finish. Shauna came into my office with this look on her face. Now, up to this point, Shauna was like, she had access to the bank the bank accounts and everything, so she knew how much money we had because she did a lot of stuff for me there. She was, a different role back then. She's more of an assistant back then, but kind of working into this director role, which she is now. So she comes in, she had this kind of pale white look on her face. She looked really sad and also alarmed. And all she said to me, she said, "Chris," she had something in her hand. She said, "Chris, should I get another job? Or should I be looking for another job?" I was so confused. I'm like, "Why? Are you unhappy? Did I do something?" And she holds the bank statement up and she says, "No." Or sorry, she holds her paycheck up and she says, "No, but I'm not going to be able to cash this check. And I have a child and I have bills I have to be able to pay." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "Well," then she holds that piece of paper up and she says, "There's not enough money in this account to clear, this paycheck. And I don't know if any other money's coming in. I mean, is there something I don't know about?" And I was like, holy crap. I literally hadn't been paying attention to that because I was just too busy doing other things. So I said, "You know what, Shauna, give me an hour and I'll have this figured out. Let me just make some phone calls." So the thing I did is I basically went out and I drafted a note from me to my company for, I think I did like 10 grand. Okay. For $10,000 is I think the amount that I did it for. Then the next phone call after I did the note, hang on. And I did it for 6%. I charged myself interest. Okay. My company had to pay interest at a rate of 6%. And I gave my company 3 years to pay this back. Does anyone know what the next place I went? Vivi, where did I go to get that $10,000?
From the formula.
From my BYOB policy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I called the company, the insurance company, and I took a loan for $10,000 because I did have the money in there. And I put that money into the company and that note, and that company then set up a monthly payment. And I gave the company a couple of months to get started because, hey, listen, when you're the bank, you set the rules. So then my company paid me back every month. Now, don't tell anyone this. That company repaid me the $10,000 over the course of that time, but I never stopped the payments. I just kept them going because when you're the bank, you make the rules. Yeah, you want to show your toys? Vivi's got some toys she would like to show everybody. So you got to tell them what they are. So what is this one?
This is Taste. I'm wearing a helmet. And this is a truck.
Look at this truck. Look at those big monster trucks. And what is this thing? It's got like a
Look.
Oh, go get that. You just shot it at the whole audience. And then show them how Chase sits in the truck. Well, she's not done yet. She's got one more truck. she wants to make sure that you see how Chase sits in his monster truck that shoots that cannon thingamajigger. All right, show them how that works.
You put
You got to do it to the camera because they can't see what you're doing.
You have to do it like
right here.
this.
Show it right here. So, and if you can see it here, they can see it. Scoot it over. See, there you go. All right. Show them how they do it. That where that gets stored?
Yeah,
okay.
you can buy this truck at $80 too.
Oh, this truck's $80 too. It seems like all Paw Patrol trucks are $80. I wouldn't know because.
Oh no, wait. This is $6, and the other one is $80.
Oh, this one's only $6. Okay. What other one do you want to show them?
This is small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Who bought you this one, Viv?
6. See, it's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, 6. So who bought you this?
I don't know. You put them in the truck like this. There's actually one little dog right here. This.
How many of you think she should have her own YouTube channel teaching people how to buy Paw Patrol trucks with their own bank?
I just toss it and then they buy it.
And you watch a lot of videos of people playing with toys too. All right, show them what this one is. Whose truck is this?
It's Rebels.
Okay, make sure they can see it because they can't really see it if you're just playing with it. There we go. Okay, hold it up to the camera and show them what you got.
This comes out and this comes in. Out.
And then you can connect stuff to it, can't you?
Yeah, I can show you. I can show you the rest of the toys this one.
There you go. It's got a dump truck. It's got a bulldozer and
a shovel.
A backhoe. Yeah, it's got a shovel. And you can connect other trucks to it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, can you shut that mouse or the hamster off? He's getting annoying. Kevin. Okay. So I think tonight we might have to get cut short a little bit because it's going to turn into a Paw Patrol session, so you can see all of our Paw Patrol trucks, know how to buy them, and obviously know how to use your own bank. But anyway, long story short, that was me being my own bank. So, if you're going to start your own company, make sure you're capitalized and your bank, your private banking system is capitalized, because then you can just fund your own banking system. I've funded so much stuff with my companies, including Private Money Club. I funded that. Hey, real quick with Private Money Club, before, we start getting too long with this thing, if all of you can see at the bottom, we've got an event coming up, and that event that we've got coming up is out there in Dallas, Texas, May 8th and 9th. It's called Private Money Club Money Tank. It's not our first rodeo. We've done a whole bunch of them. This one's going to be epic. This one, we're bringing in a whole new dynamic. We're bringing in like a whole day, and all it's going to be is people that I work with, people that we work with. Oh boy, that we. Oh my gosh, she had a whole wheelbarrow full of stuff. Viv, let me finish what I'm saying, and then we can go into your wheelbarrow. So it's May 8th and 9th. It's out in Dallas, Texas. We're doing a whole day of tax strategy, tax planning, and like things you can do that will benefit you, not just from your tax standpoint, but definitely from your tax standpoint, but also potentially give you some income streams and things like that. So we're going to be doing that. But really, the whole event is where people with money meet people that need money, and it's a really unbelievable event. So at the bottom, I've got a link there, privatemoneyclub.com. Hang on. You want to sell your toys?
No, show my
toys. Show your toys. Okay, I was going to say, I can't believe you want to sell those already. Those are collector items, but we're losing people, Viv, because either they don't want to hear me talk about the Money Tank event, or maybe they don't want to hear you talk about your toys. Wouldn't that be rude? They'll jump back on. But nonetheless, join us out there in Dallas, Texas. It's those scrollers, privatemoneyclub.com/money tank. If you use Early Bird 1 or Early Bird 2, those are the discount codes. You get $300 off or $600 off the tickets. All right. Now, and the only thing we got to finish after we get done showing the toys, Viv, is we got to show them how to fund their business outside of just their own private bank. Okay, what do we want to show next? Get ready, folks. It's about to get wild. And let's see. Before you do that, let's see if anyone's loving this. Yep, right here. Look at this. We got some people over here on Instagram saying she knows more than 10th graders or seniors. High five to that. Look at, they're saying you're smarter than a 10th grader. She definitely knows more about money. I would definitely say that. Cole is coming. Let's see. What else we got? Yeah, we got a bunch of comments for you, Viv. Look at this. How do you recommend raising children this day and age with money and life in general? Viv, you know how we've done that thing where, you know, and I know you always like to do it with Chase. So I'm just going to give you an example of some of the things we do. So Vivi has like a cash register, which that's kind of your bank, right? And then where you save. So a lot of times Chase will want to buy a new truck, and he might want to buy a new truck from Rubble, right? So show Rubble up here. So what we do is Chase will basically have a truck. Let's just say Chase wants to sell a truck to Rubble. Rubble wants to buy this truck. Chase will finance that truck sale to Rubble. And then what does Rubble have to do? Rubble has to do what? Well, Rubble's digging, yeah, but Rubble's buying that truck for himself. So now what does Rubble have to do for Chase? Yeah. So Chase is going to be the bank. And then Rubble, what he's going to do is Rubble's going to get that truck. But Rubble's going to have to make payments every month back to Chase. Yeah. And he's got to build the bank first. So Chase can't just go and finance that sale. Chase had to build the bank first, right? Yeah. So these are just the little things we do. And, you know, maybe I should record those. So maybe these are some of the things we should do, is to show how me and Vivi kind of do role play about Chase or Rubble or Sky is usually part of it, being their own bank, and money, just the exchange, right? Money for food, food for money, money for house, house for money, money for car, car for money. You know, just these little guys. This is Chase and then Rubble. They want to buy new stuff. They need new toys. If you've ever watched Paw Patrol, man, there is always a problem.
If it was possible, if you want Paw Patrol, if you want new toys, you have to sell the old ones first to another people, and then you can get a new toy.
Yeah, you can't just always just keep buying new toys. Sometimes you got to sell the old toys. And then remember when somebody asked Ryder, how do you afford all this stuff? And then what were they selling? Stuff like this, right? Remember he held up all the T-shirts and all that? And that's how they bought all these trucks and jets and towers and everything else, and lookouts. What else, Viv?
You have to buy this truck because this truck's really cool. It has a scoop on the back, but it's this drill on the back, and then it has a shovel in the front, and then it has Rubble in the front, so he can drive it.
And Rubble's a pretty good operator of that, isn't he? All right, what else do we got? Who else we got down there? We got two more. Oh, get your favorite one. That's not your favorite one, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? So, okay, well, here, show that one then.
This one has something on the bottom. Some of the people buys these trucks, so some of the people don't have Paw Patrol. They only have planes, or I don't know.
Hey, Vivi, so one of the things we could do is, as you accumulate all these Paw Patrol things, and you buy a lot of these from other little boys and girls who have outgrown them, maybe what you could do is create your own store where people can, instead of you telling them they just have to go to the store, they could come to Vivi's store and buy your Paw Patrol stuff when you're ready to get rid of it. What do you think?
Yeah.
But not now, because you want to keep all your Paw Patrol, right? Yeah, so she's not ready to be an entrepreneur yet.
Not my new toys.
Not your new toys. Definitely not your new toys.
On my old toys.
Yep. All right. What else we got? So that was Chase with the wheelie motorcycle. Anything else you want to say about this one?
Yeah. And somebody comes on the bottom. Taste comes out. And then look.
Show them how it works. Put it up here. So if Chase wants to ride a wheelie, what do you do? You just push the button?
Yeah, but I don't know how to put it.
Oh, I thought that was the button. Usually that's the button. Okay, what other one do we got? These other ones are really cool. Stay tuned. These ones are going to be really cool.
I got I got one that's these. I got two new ones.
And I'm going to hit St. James's number about the D&B number here. But what we're talking about is, how do you raise children this day and age with money and life in general? Find what they really like. What is it that motivates your child? What do they really find value in? What drives them? And then take the money and show them how it will get more of what they want. More Paw Patrol, boats, and then show them how they can go make money. And how do you make money?
Be your own bank.
Yeah, so she makes money by being her own bank, and Daddy and Mommy help you with that now. But eventually, someday, we're going to turn that over to you, and you're going to own that, and you're going to have to continue to capitalize it. So let's talk about this. Is this a hovercraft?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's shooting things at you guys. One more left. Fire. Whoa. All right. And then you got another one. Let's show the last one, and then Daddy's going to wrap up this live. Yeah, we're going to finish this live. We can't be on here all night. We're already losing people. This used to be your favorite.
Zuma
This is Zuma.
toy.
And show them what it does. And this one works with another toy that you have, doesn't it? So that comes off, and you can kind of store it in one of the trucks to transport. And then the little hovercraft, can kind of go on. It can go on the road. It can go on sand. It can go on dirt. It can go on water. It goes on anything, doesn't it, baby?
Even if I go on a beach day.
Even if you go on a beach. All right. So now we're going to kind of bring this one full circle. So James was asking on Instagram if I find it important to have a good D&B number, Dun & Bradstreet number, when starting a company. Here's what I would say. Oh, yeah, go pick up all those and then put those away. Here's what I would say to Dun & Bradstreet. I think it's overrated. A lot of people use that to try to sell, but you do need good credit. So if you have bad credit or you don't have any credit, then that would be a good thing. But I would say, all that stuff I mentioned earlier is probably more important. But if you're looking to raise money, then yes, the Dun & Bradstreet number is going to be important, but it's just not getting the number. You got to build credit, commercial business credit. And there's all sorts of companies that do that, none of which, I'm going to recommend. I'm speaking at one, I can't remember the name of it. I'm speaking at one coming up couple weeks here out in California, and that's what they do. They build credit for people, business credit. And once you get business credit, you get all sorts of things. You get credit cards, you get lines of credit. There's a whole world that kind of goes around that Dun & Bradstreet number. So I remember 2013, me and Larissa, I don't know how much money we spent, but we bought into a package that built our business credit. And here's what I'll tell you. I said at first, it was a slow go. It built really slow. Didn't really see a huge benefit. I mean, we got like a Sunoco card. We were buying a bunch of stuff from this one place where you buy like just supplies for your business. And we got a credit card there. But we did this year over year over year. And in the real estate business, it really helped us tremendously because it did give us commercial credit. And then we were getting lines of credit from these banks. And it was just, we weren't personally guaranteeing it anymore. So that D&B number can be important, but don't make that your priority. Don't go out there and be like, oh, I can't open my company until I get a good D&B score, get my D&B number. Listen, just everything happens when it's supposed to happen. Gosh, she's bringing all of her toys in here. But yeah, this is crazy. All right, but money. So yes, you could capitalize your own banking system. Many of you probably have old whole life policies that were started a long time ago. There's cash value in those. And I'm working with a client right now that they had 4 policies and they didn't know they could use the cash value. So that's a starting place. But, another thing too, small business development center. So that is still relevant in today. You guys see in the background, see what she's got going on back here. So she's got her little wagon there. She's bringing all the toys in. Check this out. How freaking cool is that? She's lining all of her trucks up. Yeah, but anyway, the Small Business Development Center definitely does loans, but you need to plug into a small business development team or there's centers, and they're usually at community colleges. So there's small business development centers when you plug into them, if you go through their program, and usually they don't even cost anything, maybe they do today, but they never used to, you just go through the program. And then when you go through that, they're going to basically help you put together that business plan. But again, you can't be in a rush because this stuff takes time. But then what you do is you automatically qualify for a small business development loan because they're going to walk you through. They're going to vet your whole company and everything. So they're going to do 90% of the stuff you would need to get funded for your company. Okay.
Daddy,
the other way people fund companies is
Daddy.
lines of credit. Yeah. You got them all lined up. Okay, well, I'm gonna turn the camera and you can kind of tell them all about those in a second, but let me just finish the money side of it. So somebody's saying, Karen is saying, for flipping a house, do I recommend 1031 exchanges? Yeah, 1031.
Is Mimi watching?
I don't think so. No, I don't think Mimi's watching.
I saw all the people that sell my toys.
Well, we'll get to your toys in just a second. Hey, can you put all the toys that you already showed back over there? Go put these away because we've got a whole bunch of new toys. So please put the old toys away and then we'll get to the new toys. And then by the time you're done putting all the old toys away, I'll be finished with what I'm doing. And then we can just focus on anyone that wants to listen to the rest of your Paw Patrol live tonight. So, all right, back to that, losing track. But a lot of times, let me hit this 1031 exchange, and then I got to get back to how do you raise money for your company. But the 1031 exchanges, we've done them. Here's the problem with the 1031 exchange. When you're selling a property, you have to identify another property in a specific time frame. If I'm not mistaken, 90 days, maybe the rules have changed. It's been a while since I've done it. So all you're doing, Karen, is you're just kind of kicking the can. You're not getting around taxes. You're just deferring the taxes on that particular property. Now, here's how that would make sense. Now, if you're flipping a house, typically it's not going to make sense. But if you're flipping a house and you want to take the proceeds and you want to buy a long-term rental, now a 1031 exchange makes all the sense in the world, because now you're taking a short-term gain, you're deferring the taxes, and you're putting that money and all the tax money you would have to have spent into a property that now you're going to own for a long time and you're going to cash flow. But if you're just doing it like one flip after another, that's going to come back and bite you. It really is, because it's just too much of a pain in the butt. It's going to force you to make bad decisions and buy properties, not because you really did your due diligence, but because you're running out of time. And because you're running out of time, and now all of a sudden you've got to take another one. So I would be very cautious with that. Let's see, trying to get my block as soon as I can call corporate capital. Awesome. 45 days. Thank you. Thank goodness James Davidson is on here, Jimmy, because he's the CPA. He knows all these rules. Again, some of the stuff, like I've done it, but I haven't done it for a decade, right? So like it just gets foggy. And if it's not something relevant to what I'm doing now, it's not something I know, like, and understand, well, you know what I do? I hire other people. At this event, let me give you one other piece of advice. At this event that we were just at, they were asking some advice, and they kept asking all the stuff, how do you do this? How do you do that? Yeah, I showed them all your toys back there. Yep. So there we go. Did you put all your old toys away? Go put those back away. Don't just put them in your wheelbarrow. Go put them away. There you go. I have gotten really good, and I always advise people, just like I did out there, you got to hire your weakness. You're not going to be good at everything. In the beginning, I know Viv, go put those away. Don't just put them in. No, you did not put those away. Go put them away.
But it's too hard.
It's too hard that you're going to make me do it. It's not too hard. All right, let me just finish. Keep rubbing your back. Secret Knockers shout out. What's up, AC? So
I need to go potty.
Okay, go potty right over here. Make sure you put down the little toilet seat. Okay, and then see you back in a sec. Whew. She's getting anxious to do her little presentation of her Paw Patrols. But I've gotten really good at hiring my weaknesses. If there's something I'm not good at, I find somebody that is. And the question came up about bookkeeping and marketing and all this stuff. And I said, listen, if that's not stuff you know something about, you're going to spend too much time and energy trying to learn it. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. It's going to cost you more. Just find the person that knows how to do that. And I can't stress that enough when it comes to bookkeeping in taxes. If you're an entrepreneur and you're starting a company and you're still doing your own taxes, you are really screwing up. Do not do your own taxes if you own a company, because you're missing out on way too much. And now get someone, I wouldn't say Jimmy, but get someone like Jimmy who would do your taxes. All right. 180 days to, yeah, so 45 days to identify a property with a 1031 exchange. And then I'm seeing over here 180 days. I know that seems like a lot of time, but it's really not. 180 days to replace the property you sold. That means you got to close, I believe. You got to close in that time frame. Here in New York, it was just so stressful when I did it. And anyway, I'm not even going to get into 1031s. Just consult with somebody that really can give you good advice on 1031 exchanges. But I think that would be my advice. If you're flipping a property and then you're moving into a long-term rental, that's the way to go. Oh, there you go, Karen. He knows a ton about 1031 exchanges. Okay, and he's done them before. All right, so we covered SBA loans, SBA small business development centers, which can kind of get you prepped and ready for an SBA-backed loan. Another place that's a good place to fund a business, but you got to be really careful and always consult with your significant other or spouse, is a home equity line of credit. A lot of companies are funded from home equity lines of credit. So that's another really good way to do it. And the one place I would tell you not to use to start a company, unless you really know what you're doing, credit cards. I can't tell you how many people we've helped get out of credit card debt that were in credit card debt because they started a company that failed with their credit cards. So I prefer to not have to do that anymore. Like, help you get out of debt because you got in debt starting a company that you didn't do all the right things, and now all of a sudden now you're in debt, and we're kind of working backwards. Like, unless you want to lose 5 years of your life, 5 years of getting ahead financially to 5 years of getting behind financially, don't use credit cards to open businesses. Okay, save money. Hell, if you got to defer starting your company, for a couple of years to save up enough or capitalize your own banking system, just don't do it that way. All right. With that being said, it's now moving to the Vivi hour. Vivi, let's do this. What are we showing them? I can't really see all the trucks, but you want to bring them one at a time. How do you want to do this? And we're going to go about another 8 minutes doing this. So we got to do this relatively quick. We got Hope on here. Plus rules change, Tess said. Absolutely, rules are always changing. What do you got here? You've had this one for a long time, and you love this.
Chase.
Okay, another Chase doll, or not doll, another Chase character here. But what is it? What's so unique about this Chase? He goes into this machine. Show him the machine. Show him this one. These are really cool. These ones, each one of these has a little something different that it does, and they flip open. So in the thing, she can basically have Chase sitting up in the machine, and this pushes in, and this is held up, and he just drops in there, and it closes, and then he's ready to go. All right, let's keep going. That's Chase. Let's show him some of the other ones that open up and have really cool things inside. Good night, Eve. All right, now we got Sky. Let's show him this machine. Same thing. Oh, yeah, you do it. But they can't see it down here.
You have to buy this. It comes with the seam. The seam is really cool. This comes with a little sky.
Remember, point it right there.
It comes with a little sky with a helmet.
Sky with a helmet. And what's in here? What does it do?
I don't know. It opens up but.
So if some of you are thinking about a business idea, like just look at what Paw Patrol did. They literally got so popular that they started making shows, like half-hour shows, and they introduced new toys or new trucks and new characters in the show. And guess what kids want to do? Rush out and buy that new toy. So always reinvent yourself. Always be pushing the envelope. I'm going to use what Vivi's doing. I'm going to try to give you business advice that ties with it. So like what Nickelodeon and Paw Patrol have done really well is continually reinvent themselves. So in business, you always have to be reinventing yourself. You might have something that's a winner today, but tomorrow it'll be a loser. Okay, show it to them. Show them Rebel.
Rebel.
This one's cool. This one's really cool. Don't know what it does. Look at got like a crane inside of it. No, just right here. There we go. It's got a crane inside of it and everything.
And we even got one of these inside.
Yeah.
And it turns by itself like this. And
And
then
Rubble
you-
can jump in this seat and he can operate the crane,
And then
but it's all part of his truck.
we
Oh,
can,
gotta push that down. It's all part of his truck, and there's Rubble. Cool. All right, next. All I can say about that one is, I mean, every truck should have a crane in it. I mean, come on. How many times you've been like, man, I don't feel like lifting that and putting it in the back of my truck. That thing's got a crane in it. What's this one got in it? Oh, this one. Oh, this one. Yeah, this one's got another one with a crane in it.
but not a seat.
Yeah, but not a seat. So this one, same idea. It's got a
And look,
crane.
I didn't see this.
And this one pulls apart, so it can extend.
I didn't show you.
Okay, she's gonna show you the other one. She's 4. All right, what's this one? Is this? Oh yeah.
I know
Yeah, you
how
forgot
to
to
let
show
it.
them because they open up, and then you can do this and you go in. And this one's also got the crane in it. Here, put this one over there. I'll show them Skies. Skies does the same thing. Opens up with this little thing.
He's gonna open up because he's glued together.
These glued together.
Uh-huh.
And Vivi, when you've broken your toys, what have you told Daddy to do?
What?
When your toys have broken, what have we had to do?
I'm throwing them in the garbage.
Or what's the other thing? Sometimes we have to throw them in the garbage, but what do we try to do?
What?
We try to glue them together. What kind of glue do we use?
Sticky glue.
Sticky glue with the big gorilla on it, right? We call that gorilla glue. Oh wow, what's this one? This is the recycling truck.
It does this one.
Oh, this one opens up from the back.
And then look at what this one does. And then look, there's another truck over here.
Right here. There it is. And that one just fits right inside. And you can close it up. And then what's on the front of this one? Does that have to lift like garbage cans? Oh, you got it. What's his name?
The Rocky.
That's Rocky.
And then we got something that's blue and
Here, I can
that
open it.
side.
So it's got the garbage can. Oh, what just fell out of the garbage can? Oh, actually garbage. The heck? How come you got food in there? Were you saving that for a later day? Okay.
Food.
All right. Well, we'll have to vacuum that. Slide it in there.
Not actually good. But
I mean, come on. Well, this is why Paw Patrol is like one of the most popular toys out there. Is that they
I know.
literally build some
we
really
forgot to
really
put-
cool
we
stuff.
forgot
How do I get this in here? Oh, I see. It slides in. There we go. Well, what did we forget? Oh yeah, that part. Okay, here you go. That is Rocky.
And then the last one.
The trucker was hungry, I guess so. And then the last one, folks. The last one's Monster or Marshall. Marshall. Oh! You forgot that. There you go. So the last one is Marshall. Marshall's one of her favorites. So well, she likes them all, but Marshall's definitely one of her favorites.
And Chase too.
Well,
Let it,
Chase is always your favorite.
yeah. Chase and
Chase is,
my favorite.
but what is his slogan? Chase is.
Ah.
So we're talking about business. So, every kid can recite Chase. Chase is on.
The case.
Chase is on the case. And when we
I
talk about Paw Patrol, there's
I
no
understand.
job to.
Big, no pups to small.
See, there you go. Elevator speech, folks. What is it you do? Make cool toys. Oh, yeah? What are they about? Little dogs called Paw Patrol. No pup too small, no job too big. No job too big, no pup too small. All right, what's this one do?
What?
How do you shoot those? Whoa. Look at this one. It's got a water cannon. So if any of you got a fire, this thing's got a water cannon. There it is. Let's shoot it at them. Somebody's got a, oh, there we go. All right, so we got the water cannon. Folds down, folds apart, closes. Go get those 2 water things. They're underneath there. But with that being, is that all that you have to show them, Viv?
Yeah.
All right. You got, okay. You got one more. Now, come on. Like, folks, how many of you, if she was actually selling you these toys, you'd be like, I want to buy. Where do I buy? And then we would create a funnel for Vivi, and we'd be like, just click the link right at the bottom. See, it says privatemoneyclub.com/money tank, and go in there.
With YouTube channel, and you'll see.
There you go. Just click. See, she's already got it figured out. But she's just not selling right now. She's just teasing you. So we would call that in business seeding. So what she's doing, and you don't even know this is being done. None of you even know this. All of you want these toys now. You all want these Paw Patrol toys because she's been seeding this whole time. All right, what's this last one?
It goes up and then down. And look. And then look. This part opens the part.
Oh, you got to show it over here. No, right here. This is the camera right there. Awesome. And then this opens in the back. Show them that. Make sure you show it over here. And then little pups can hop inside of it, or like this. And then this opens up, and the pups can just hop right inside. And then one of the pups hops in the front, and then they just drive away.
Hey, look.
Yeah, there's 28 people still walking. There you go. All right. Anything else?
Yeah.
No. If you got to get more, we're all done. We'll do that tomorrow. We'll show them more tomorrow.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, we're done.
No.
One more. Pick your best one, and then we'll seed them on that, and every one of them will be buying it from you. Okay. So seeding. That's what's being done here. And every time when you own a business and you're doing a webinar or you're doing a talk or you're doing anything, always be seeding. Don't always be selling, because if you're selling, you lose everybody. But if you're seeding, you're planting ideas, and then people will remember that. Like you can seed an idea of anything you want. If there's something that you've got coming up, like you've got an event coming up, like we do in Dallas, Texas, the 8th and 9th, you could just seed that the whole time. Now, here's where a lot of new business owners make the mistake, like that stage 5 clinger that I was talking about. They think you always got to be selling, and it's actually just the opposite. Don't sell, seed, and solve problems. And then people will ask you, and people always say, oh, well, you got to go here, you got to do this. Like, people are smart enough to find their way. When somebody wants something, they're smart enough to locate where it is. Just point them in a direction. You don't need to be like, oh, go here and do this and do this. I know sometimes we do that, but normally, if it's really something compelling and it's something that solves somebody's problem, they will find it. Just point the direction. Like Vivi said, just go to the YouTube channel. So she didn't tell you what YouTube channel, but you'd figure it out, right? If you really wanted these toys and you wanted to learn what she's showing you, you would figure out what YouTube channel to go, because you know her name, Vivi Noggle, my name. You'd be like, okay, well, that YouTube channel's got to be somewhere in there, and you'd be smart enough to find it. So that's the thing that I'm trying to explain, is just like, don't think you've got to oversell your business, oversell your product. What you really got to do, you got to overly do it, is solve a problem. Because if you solve somebody's problem, they will solve your problem. But if you just try to sell them, nobody wants to buy. Sorry to break the news. Nobody wants to buy what you're selling. Nobody. But everybody wants their problem solved. So learn what their problem is, and then show them, without selling them, how to solve their problem. If you can accomplish that, you've got yourself a really good start in business. And if you can go through those different steps, those are the things you need to do before you start any company that will set you up for success, not failure. Too many businesses fail. So I'm hoping all of you listen to this, and I'm hoping all of you take some of this. So when you are starting your company, many of you are already entrepreneurs, but maybe you're next, you will go out there and you will do it completely different than how you started the last one. And that will help you be more successful. Okay, babe. So, whoa. You just brought in like 6 new toys, which now I'm going to have to clean up all of these toys. What is one new toy? What is one toy you want to show them? This is literally turning into the Paw Patrol hour. You folks don't even know what's going on over here. Like, we've got a whole arsenal of Paw Patrol toys down here. And listen, it even goes further. Look,
put it down here.
Okay, it's going to go right here. All right, so show them what you want to show them, but do it quick, because they're all getting tired, and so are we. We had a long day on the hill. It's after 9 o'clock. Mommy's going to want to go to bed. Which one do you want to show them first? The monster truck one? Oh, look at that. And then you got your fire truck. Oh, this one's cool. Man, I didn't have toys like this when I was growing up. They make noises, you push buttons, they do all sorts of things. There's hidden compartments. Okay.
Can't do it.
There it is. All right, one more, and then we're going to call it a night. One more. Fire truck. That'll get you nice and high. And then look at, don't you have a thing that if a kitty's got to jump out of a window, you can save the kitty? There it is. I mean, you always must have one of those trampolines. So if kitty's got to jump out the window, and you can see the kitty's right over there, sitting there, cautiously watching, anxiously watching. That's Big Scouty. You got ladders. Okay, put the ladders back on.
I can't.
Great, that's right. Daddy has to do that. Okay, and then, all right. Oh, this one, this was a gift. Who gave you this?
And then monster comes out.
Who gave you this one? Do you remember who gave that to you?
Uncle Dad.
You forgot?
No. Yeah.
Remember Sipple?
Simple.
Yeah, Jason Sipple sent that to you. His little boy. Look at this toy. It's like a transformer.
Look at the little Scouty.
Little Scouty. All right, Scouty, what do you have to say to close us out tonight? Got anything to say? All right, Vivi, what do you want to say to everybody? We're done. You want to say bye?
No, look.
She's still going with the Paw Patrol. Uh-oh, what'd you just launch there?
And then I got Everest.
And then you got Everest.
I don't know.
What does Everest do?
Oh, no.
Everest is good at going in the snow. Okay. All right, folks.
Whoa.
We're gonna. Whoa. Uh-oh, look at that. Awesome. All right, Viv, we got to let them go. Thanks, everybody, for joining us for tonight. Getting real. And you're getting real Paw Patrol. Hopefully you all enjoyed this. Hopefully you got a couple pieces of information that will help you in your journey, whatever it is you're trying to do. But we'll be back at it tomorrow night. And I'm sure Vivi's going to have a lot more Paw Patrol to show you. What's that? It's right here, Viv. Here's your other ladder. And yep, maybe we'll be joined by a couple other kitties. But at least tonight you got to meet Harvey and...
Buy kitties by $1. Buy kitties by $1.
And how should people get kitties? Should they save them from the rescues?
Yeah, save them. We got Scouty from a house.
Yeah, from a house that we were flipping. That's why his name is Scout, because we were out scouting for properties, and that's where Scouty came from. I think it was Fletcher Road that we got him. Don't pull his whiskers. They don't like that. All right. Well, with that being said, thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, enjoy your night.
Enjoy your